Welcome to Cartoon Fridays number 55. My name is, of course, MonstersReview, and welcome on this nice Friday night. Sorry if I sound a little bit off. I'm just really exhausted and tired. But, never pass on Cartoon Fridays. How's everybody doing? Good? How was your week? How's everybody doing? You like my Cartoon Network versus Adult Swim video? Thank you. I appreciate that. And by the way, you guys have been crushing it. You guys gave that video so much love, so much support, and I can't thank you guys enough. That video did great, and I read some of your comments. I haven't gotten the chance to respond to them yet. I'll probably get to do that in a couple days, but I read some of your comments. You guys left some really nice comments. You guys just crushed it on that video. Thank you so much. I'm glad you guys enjoyed that video. I mean, I enjoyed editing it. It was very time consuming, and it took a long time. And there's obviously a lot of problems uploading it and whatnot. But thank you guys so much for the support on that video. Oh, you're sick. I hope you feel better. Stressful like usual. Oh, hopefully the stress dies down a little bit. uh, but anyway, let's get right into our news. But there's not really that much. So I'm not sure if this is really news. I mean, it is kind of important, but the creator of Gumball, his name is Frank. It's probably really hard to pronounce, or I'm probably going to pronounce it wrong. I'm just gonna go off on a limb and say it's Ben Bakwale. That could be totally wrong. Anyway, I tried. He's the and by the way, I just added this in. Some of you might not see it because some of you have been on this page for a while, but I just updated it before I started the stream. If you hit refresh, you should see in the description I put links to all of the things I'm going to be talking about today. So the first thing is, the creator of Gumball posted on his Twitter saying that he wants to bring Gumball to an end after season 6, or he wants to end Gumball at the end of season 6, because he just feels like it'd be a good time for a cool ending, and he thinks he wants to end on a high note, which is totally understandable. Um, and he says that he's definitely leaving after season 6, but that doesn't necessarily mean the end of Gumball. So yeah, I mean, even though he might leave, Cartoon Network might still renew it for um another season, because that's the thing. Give Disney XD props, because when Alex Hirsch wanted to end Gravity Falls on after 2 seasons, uh, he confronted Disney about it and was like, I think now would be a good time to end this show. I don't want to tarnish the legacy. I think now is the perfect time to end the show, and Disney XD respected his decision. But not all networks will do that, because they not the creator doesn't own the rights to the show. The networks do. So even though the creator might leave, they still could extend the show for as long as they want to. But I'm kind of guessing that they're going to respect his decision, and they're going to end it after season 6, most likely. But like I said, that's not 100%. It might still go on. It's just likely, since the creator's leaving, and if it were to continue, the creator leaving is never a good sign. With SpongeBob, after Steven Hillenburg left after the SpongeBob movie, Craig McCracken, he left to go work on Foster's during the later seasons of the Powerpuff Girls, so on and so forth. Pendleton Ward leaving Adventure Time. It's just it's never really a good sign. So, I mean, I'm just like I said, I'm guessing that it's going to end after season 6, but you never know. And by the way, a lot of people were a little bit surprised, but season 6 is a long way away. I'm pretty sure season 5 just started. So we're still probably going to see brand new episodes of Gumball for another year or two. I don't think season 6 will come to a close until maybe 2018 or something like that, possibly late 2017. Uh, so yeah, what do you guys think about that? Let me know what you guys think about that. And I totally respect his decision, trying to end it on a high note, not trying to drag it out. I'm glad that some creators have creative, integrity and have respect for their shows like that. And I posted this on Twitter, too, but it seems like if Gumball was to end, I mean, that also I feel like Cartoon Network might lose a lot of its core programming, or not core, but maybe core, but what's a better word to use? A lot of their more popular, more diverse, more yeah, I guess more diverse programming. I feel like they might lose a lot of that. With regular show ending after season 8, and most likely I don't even think that's 100% confirmed yet. And Gumball possibly ending after season 6. Um, and those are, they're both diverse shows. One point I did bring up in that Cartoon Network versus Adult Swim video is I feel like a lot of the shows that are on Cartoon Network feel very similar in nature, and a lot of them just feel very similar. A lot of them share very similar art styles. A lot of them just have naive adolescent males as main protagonists. So these shows brought different things to the table and more diversity to Cartoon Network's programming. Different art styles. Regular show with the action and the sci-fi and all that. Gumball with the mix of the art styles, the 2D, the CGI, the real life, um, and its take on a cartoon comedy. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I can only hope that Cartoon Network uh will replace these shows with just with other shows that are just as good or even better. But then again, I mean, I don't know if that's going to happen, or if Cartoon Network's just going to keep dwindling the amount of original shows. Yeah, We Bare Bears is also one of my favorites on Cartoon Network right now. I'm not sure how long Adventure Time will go on. That's something I don't know. It definitely it's nowhere near as popular as it used to be. It used to be so popular. It used to be like a and it's still like kind of like a pop culture icon, or like Finn and Jake are kind of like pop culture icons, and um you know it was just so popular. Adventure Time took the world by storm. But now Adventure Time isn't really, nobody talks about Adventure Time anymore. They rarely air it on Cartoon Network anymore. Nobody talks about it. Uh, they were supposed to make like an Adventure Time movie that was supposed to be in theaters, but I don't know if they're still doing that or not. Um, Definitely something interesting. Yeah, I really hope Cartoon Network doesn't decide to replace these shows with more reboots, unless they're decent reboots, but that's seems unlikely. Yeah, Cartoon Network does need to pick up OKKO. That show looks great. Or that just like the overall series concept seems great. I remember back in what was it, 2013, and Cartoon Network released all those pilots. They did like the pilot for Clarence, the pilot for what was it, Mars Safari, Paranormal Roommates, just a bunch of other assorted ones, and the one for Lakewood Plaza Turbo was in there. Um, and I fell in love with it, and that was like my favorite one out of the bunch. And I'm surprised, that Clarence. I mean, the Clarence one wasn't bad, but it was just so bland. It's just a kid living his everyday life. I guess maybe Cartoon Network chose that one because maybe it was more relatable to Cartoon Network's target demographic. But OKKO seemed like such a great concept, and I'm surprised they didn't really do anything with it. I mean, I'm pretty sure they did see its potential because they tried the what was it? They had like an animation fest. And then they also made like a bunch of shorts that were animated in different art styles from different studios. But I hope they take it one step further. Like, you know, I appreciate all these online shorts and stuff, but I would love to see this as a series, and I think it would do great. I really do, and I think that would that would be a great addition to Cartoon Network's lineup. Um, and yeah, I mean, I really don't know why Cartoon Network passed up on it. Or I don't even know if they did. They probably did, but um. By the way, why'd they rename it to OKKO? I feel like Liquid Plaza Turbo sounds better. I mean, OKKO is, I guess, maybe slightly more clever, but I don't like it that much. I don't know what about it I don't like, but I feel like Liquid Plaza Turbo is a more fitting name. But anyway, Mighty Magiswords. This is a brand new series that's coming to Cartoon Network. It started out as a kind of like a mini series on Cartoon Network's apps, and apparently it was relatively popular. So Cartoon Network decided to pick it up for a full series, and they just announced that its premiere date is September 29th. Apparently they've already had like previews and stuff on the channel, but it's officially premiering on Thursday, September 29th at 6:30 p.m. So yeah, it was a short mini series that had little mini episodes on Cartoon Network's apps. And I mean, I guess it looks all right. It doesn't really look like anything my I don't think I'd enjoy it. I'll give it a chance, and I'll probably maybe do like a first impressions video on it, but I'm not sure if I'm going to like it because I've already seen some of the shorts and some of the videos and stuff like that for it, and I didn't really like it that much, to be entirely honest. Um, I can totally understand if some people do. It's just I don't know. I don't really like the concept of the fact it's just like, oh, we run into an enemy, we just come up with a random sword that can solve our problems. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I don't like the concept very much, and I just didn't find it that entertaining. But I'll give it a chance. I definitely will give it a chance, and I will go into it with an open mind. And by the way, I heard that the Ego Raptor, you guys know Ego Raptor, Aaron from Game Grumps. I'm pretty sure he has a voice role in the series. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I'm pretty sure I heard that somewhere. Let me know if that's true or not, if you're at all familiar with it. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to give this show a chance. And yeah. So this isn't really cartoon related, but I just kind of had to. I saw it while I was looking around, and I don't know. I felt like I should talk about it. Um, so Drake Bell, he hasn't really had that well of a reputation after Drake and Josh ended. He filed for bankruptcy. He's had a lot of financial problems. He's had a lot of run-ins with the law. And in December of 2015, he had his second DUI conviction. I'm pretty sure it was. Was it a DUI conviction? Yeah, it was a DUI conviction. And basically what happened was he went to court, and they're sending him to prison for 4 days. Um, which isn't really that much, but it's kind of sad. I used to love watching Drake and Josh. Honestly, it's probably my favorite Dan Schneider's or Schneider's Bakery slash Dan Schneider sitcom, and probably my favorite Nickelodeon sitcom. And it definitely is one of my favorite, sitcoms of all time. I have a I have a love for Drake. I love Drake and Josh so much. Um, and that show's just magical. I still watch it. Sometimes it's still on Teen Nick, and sometimes I might watch it on Hulu or something. And Drake and Josh still holds up really well today, even though it does feel very like mid 2000s. But I don't know. It's it's not only that it's a little bit nostalgic, but it's just a really really funny show, and Josh is just absolutely hilarious. Drake does a good job too. Um, I mean, I've seen a lot of reviews of Drake and Josh, and like look back reviews from people in more recent years, and a lot of people seem to be fed up with Megan. I mean, I definitely didn't. I definitely was a little irritated by Megan at sometimes, and she could get a little bit irritating. But I mean, that was just kind of the whole purpose of her character. And it definitely was. I mean, I admit sometimes Megan could take it to the extremes, but I found Megan to be a very relatable character to me, at least, because I have a little brother, and when we were kids, he used to kind of be like the same thing. Like he used to be a big troublemaker, and he used to instigate me and antagonize me and try to get me in trouble and that kind of stuff. So I just personally found Megan to be very relatable. But that's just me, I guess. But yeah, it sucks. I'm still hoping for a Drake and Josh reunion. Um, but hopefully Drake Bell cleans up and gets back on track. Um, so next up, I'm not really too familiar with this. I don't really know that much about it. Um, but anyway, um, Yokai Watch is almost kind of like the new Pokemon, at least in Japan. Um, it's really, really, really popular in Japan. I don't think it's as popular in the United States, but it's still popular. Um, and it's weird. It's another one of those like collect 'em all type shows like Pokemon. Um, and recently, I'm pretty sure it was last year, they made a movie for Yokai Watch, and yeah, it just started out as like games for the DS and collectible stuff, and they also have an anime, and yeah, they came out with a movie last year, and it was actually the highest grossing movie in Japan last year. Um, so if that says a lot about its popularity. With all the movies that have been shown in Japan, that was the most popular one. So, it's actually gonna hit theaters in the U.S. this October. Um, and also shortly after that, it's going to be on DVD and streaming. Um, and apparently, it's about the main character Nate being sent back in time by the cat that you guys are seeing. I'm pretty sure it's this cat. I don't know. But it's he's sent back in time by one of the yokai, and he has to save the past or something like that. Um, I mean, I'm not really too familiar with this. I'm probably not going to give this a watch, but I've heard a lot of people say decent things about Yokai Watch. I don't know. I might give it a chance someday. And the last thing we have to talk about is this is a unreleased pilot, or what you guys are seeing right here. This is a screen grab from an unreleased pilot that Butch Hartman made. For those of you unfamiliar with him, Butch Hartman is the guy who created My Fairly Odd or My Fairly Odd Parents, The Fairly Odd Parents, Danny Phantom, Tough Puppy. He also did a lot of work on some Cartoon Network stuff in the '90s, like Johnny Bravo. Um, but he made this pilot called Dynamice for Cartoon Network, and apparently they turned it down. Um, but he's pushing people to tell Cartoon Network to get it on air. But personally, I mean, I don't really like it that much. Just being straight up and honest, I'm not sugarcoating that. I just didn't like it that much. Um, I mean, I didn't think it was anything bad, but it wasn't anything new. It's very Butch Hartman-y. And it kind of felt like almost exactly like Tough Puppy in the sense that it's like 90% comedy and 10% action, maybe. Um, a lot of the the typical Butch Hartman silly humor. Um, and I don't know. I mean, I don't even some of the early Fairly Odd Parents episodes are hit and miss, and just the recent ones have been for a good portion of them since Poof came in. A lot of them haven't been good at all. Um, and I mean, I wasn't really particularly that big of a fan of Tough Puppy either. But I love Danny Phantom, and Danny Phantom was definitely something amazing. And it had an original concept, very original concept, and it it took the typical Butch Hartman show to different places. It had dark moments, it had emotional moments, it had moments of character development and that kind of stuff. Um, Something I never really got from Butch Hartman's other shows because they were just really silly and I don't know. Um, but I just this felt very generic to me. I just didn't like it that much. And I feel like a lot of people are misinformed because they're just like, oh, you guys should get this on Cartoon Network because it's another action show. No, this isn't going to be an action show. This is going to be a comedy show with maybe a little bit of action, kind of like the Teen Titans Go formula. And Butch Hartman even straight up says in the video that he posted, I came up with this concept kind of thinking about what it would be like if the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles did nothing and just kind of sat home and ate pizza all day. So that's kind of how I came up with the Dynamice. Um, and that just it doesn't seem interesting to me. Exactly, it's oh a team of mice superheroes sitting home eating pizza. Wow, I totally want to spend my free time watching that. you know, um, I personally don't find it that entertaining. I wouldn't watch it probably. It just seems very generic and something I wouldn't enjoy. But if you guys do enjoy something like this, I totally respect your opinions and stuff like that. But yeah, that's our news for today. Not really that much to talk about. Trust me, there really wasn't that much at all. I don't know why these past few weeks have been lacking in terms of that. But yeah, now's the time to ask me questions. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat, and I would be more than happy to answer them. Let's see. Um, let's see. It was an action cartoon, but Cartoon Network told them to make a comedy instead, and we got this. Is that true? I mean, I don't know if that's true, but um, I mean, even if it was an action cartoon, I doubt that that it would like a group of five mice, and his original concept was five mice who are superhero. And by the way, this sounds exactly like Teen Titans Go almost. A group of a team of superheroes in their everyday lives sitting home eating pizza. That's pretty much Teen Titans Go, and that's what he said in the video. Just like, instead of a team of superheroes doing their job and doing a lot of superhero things, it's just kind of like they're kind of chilling. Like I said, it feels very Teen Titans Go esque, and it's just very silly. It doesn't seem like I would like it that much. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if a show like that could be action packed. It seems too silly for that, but you never know. Like it seems like it would almost be like almost it'd be very very similar to Tough Puppy. which was like 90% silliness and 10% kind of action. Since you made the video comparing Cartoon Network and Adult Swim, have you thought of making another video for other networks too? I might. Uh, Maybe I don't know. Maybe I might do like a Cartoon Network versus Boomerang. Maybe I might do like a Nickelodeon versus Nicktoons or Nickelodeon versus Teen Nick. I might do that. Yeah. I don't have anything like that planned anytime soon though. But I might do something like that down the road. Um, what are my thoughts on Aqua Teen Hunger Force? I never really, I tried giving it a watch sometimes. And a lot of my friends really liked it, so I was just like, I want to try watching this show too. But I never really got into it. I don't know why, but I just couldn't get into it, and it was kind of, stupid because a lot of my friends liked it, and I just couldn't really get into the show. What are your thoughts on We Bare Bears? It's a pretty decent show. It's one of Cartoon Network's best shows right now, in my opinion. It's very lighthearted. Some of it's funny. I like the art style. And yeah, it's pretty good. There's a few things I don't like about it, but for the most part, it's a pretty decent show. Uh, Opinions on Billy and Mandy. I liked Billy and Mandy. Billy and Mandy was one of my favorite shows growing up. I used to love Billy and Mandy. I watched it a lot. Um, I have Billy and Mandy's Big Boogie Adventure on DVD. And I was, really upset to originally hear that Underfist got turned down by Cartoon Network because I would have, loved to see um, a spin-off of Billy and Mandy with those characters, Irwin, Fred Burger, um, Haas, wasn't that his name, or Doss, something like that. Uh, and General Scar, them, Jeff the Spider. Isn't Teen Titans Go ending? I don't think it is. What are my thoughts on the Loud House? I get asked this almost every Cartoon Fridays. I still haven't really gotten the chance to see it that much. I mean, some of it was okay. I like the animation a lot. It's very fluid and smooth. But I still haven't watched enough of it to really develop an opinion on it yet. Um, do you think that the live action kids sitcoms genre is dying down? It seems that way. I mean, sitcoms used to be really popular with Drake and Josh, iCarly, the Hannah Montana, um, Zach and Cody, that kind of stuff. Like those were really, really, really popular. But now there's sitcoms like I don't know, Thundermans, Henry Danger, um, what's it called? Liv and Maddie, or I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. But like those ones don't seem to be nearly as popular, and I don't, maybe it's just because I'm not a kid anymore, but I honestly don't think those are as popular as sitcoms maybe used to be like 10 years ago. Um, do I like anime? Yeah, I like some anime. I mostly only like action anime. Um, some of my friends like anime a lot, and they've tried to have me watch certain anime that isn't really actiony and it's more just kind of like drama or high school anime type stuff, and I don't like that stuff. But that's just me. The only anime that I really have enjoyed is action stuff. Do you think Teen Titans Go will finally end later this year? Um, I don't know, probably not. It's one it. it's actually, believe it or not, despite the amount of hate it gets, it's actually a relatively popular show. Um, and a lot of people watch Teen Titans Go, um, even though there's a large amount of people that hate it. Um, but yeah, it's and that's probably one of the reasons why Cartoon Network airs it so much. So I mean, I don't think it's going to end next year. Maybe, I don't know. Did you hear that Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill teased new two new DC movies? Yeah. Um, I saw it. That seems pretty cool. I mean, hopefully they're a little bit better than The Killing Joke, in terms of animation at least, because some of it was just really choppy. A lot of it was detailed, but it was just horribly choppy. And I was actually watching Young Justice last night, and the animation is beautifully detailed. It's very smooth. Very complex. And believe it or not, I felt like the animation in Young Justice was better than it was in Batman: The Killing Joke, even though one was a TV show and one was a movie with $1 million budget. Why does Cartoon Network have 5 shows which are mostly comedy? I don't know. Like I said, a lot of their shows feel very similar, and they don't have that much diversity in their programming. It's mostly just comedy and slice of life type stuff. And not only is the schedule clogged up with a few certain shows, so there's like only 5 shows in one day schedule, and it's just constantly the same shows all day every day. But also, a lot of the shows feel very similar. So overall, you're just getting the absolute minimum amount of variety. The programming feels similar, and the programming is similar. Disney Channel versus Disney XD. I'm gonna have to go with Disney XD. Disney XD has Disney Channel doesn't even have any really animation anymore. Um, Nick only reruns iCarly. Really? That sucks. Because I remember a couple years back, I used to watch Drake and Josh on Teen Nick. Um, they used to have like reruns of iCarly, Drake and Josh, Big Time Rush, Victorious, and a bunch of other shows. Ned's Declassified. If they got rid of those shows, that sucks. By the way, a lot of people started to like this is the same thing with Cartoon Network. How a lot of people think that Cartoon Network started getting bad in like 2004. I'm just like, no, it was thriving at that point. A lot of people feel the same way about Nickelodeon. It's just like, oh, it started dying in the mid 2000s. I'm just like, no. I mean, I don't think Nickelodeon really died towards until like somewhere around like 2009 ish. But in the mid 2000s, Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon had a bunch of great sitcoms and live action shows with Drake and Josh, Ned's Declassified, School Survival Guide, and Zoe 101. Those were some great shows. And they also still rerun, all that and Amanda's show and that kind of stuff every so often. Um, they also had that Teen Nick block at the time. Uh, and then they also had a pretty decent amount of good original animated programming, like Avatar: The Last Airbender, Danny Phantom. I know I said 2004 originally, but I'm just talking mid 2000s in general. Um, and yeah, you think Cartoon Network is getting lazy with their DVD releases? Definitely. Is Drake and Josh the best Nickelodeon live action? I think you meant to say live action show. In my opinion, it's I think it very well might be my favorite Nickelodeon live action show. Well, I do a video on MTV Classic. I talked briefly about it in one of the Cartoon Fridays from, maybe it was like Cartoon Fridays number 51 or something like that. Um, I talked about it a while back on Cartoon Fridays. I don't know if I'm going to make a whole video on it. I mean, I mostly just kind of stick to cartoon stuff on here. Maybe do a little bit of other stuff occasionally, but I don't know if MTV Classic would, I don't know if I'd have the motivation or I don't know, like I don't really have a reason to make a video on MTV Classic. Pretty sure they are rerunning Beavis and Butthead and Clone High, which is cool. Can you make a review on Out of Jimmy's Head or Reanimated? Uh, I might talk about it sometime. I mean, those were kind of infamous at the time, and I mean, I remember watching Reanimated when it first came out, and then I watched some of Out of Jimmy's Head. I never liked it that much. And I'm saying that completely, uh, I. It's not that I didn't like it because it was live action. It's just, I just didn't like it. I thought it was kind of, I don't know. I didn't find it funny. Um, And yeah, like I said, some of the live action shows, it's not that I didn't like them because they're live action. It's just I genuinely didn't enjoy them. Like I'm not afraid to admit it. I enjoyed Brain Rush. That was one of the Cartoon Network real shows, or the CN real shows. But did it belong on Cartoon Network? No. Did I enjoy it? Yeah. What are your thoughts on season 3 of BoJack Horseman? In your opinion, it wasn't as good as the first two. I still haven't seen. I've seen like the first maybe 2 or 3 episodes of BoJack Horseman, and that's it. I really haven't gotten the chance to watch much of it. But I've heard it's really good dealing with certain things like as existentialism, and stuff like that. So I'm probably going to try to um, you know watch more of it sometime, but probably won't be anytime soon. I'm just really busy. Um, Also, yeah, like I said, there was going to be a total of 10 videos going up in September. I already posted one. I'm pretty sure the next video is going to be on Monday, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be the next episode of Animation Contemplation. Would I do a 107 facts video for Channel Frederator? If I was offered to, probably, yeah. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, Teen Titans Go does look like it's going to go longer than the original Teen Titans, which that shouldn't be a thing. um, let's see. Do I think Boomerang can be great again? Yeah, it easily could be great again, but do I think it will? Maybe not. It just they could so easily, just with working around the schedule a little bit, easily make Boomerang good again. I mean, it's not as simple as that because there's also, the whole branding situation too with the logo and the promos and bumpers and that kind of stuff, which still isn't that great. But I think that Boomerang could drastically improve if they just added more shows to their schedule, had a little bit more diversity, less repetitive scheduling with the Scooby Doo shows and the Tom and Jerry shows and the Looney Tunes shows. Um, and added a lot more programming, added more blocks, that kind of stuff easily. It's just a matter of having better scheduling for the most part, with a few other minor things. Yeah, that's the truth. Cartoon Network really doesn't care anymore. And that sucks. If I was to run a business, I would run a business by appealing to consumers and making them happy, and by making them money that can be profitable, or by making them happy that'll make me profitable. But I don't even know. They're just kind of taking the easy way out on a lot of things, and they're not even making their consumers happy for the most part. Well, then again, a lot of their target audience is gullible and, you know, little kids who are willing to spend a lot of money on merchandise and stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, we don't even have to care about our shows anymore. We're still gonna make money anyways. It's just like, why do you have that mentality? Will Cartoon Network ever get a new president? I'm sure they'll get a new president sometime down the line. Definitely, probably not anytime soon, since Christina Miller's new. I mean, I don't know if I'd still call her new, but she's only been the president for like 2 years, which is like nothing compared to Betty Cohen or, you know, even Stuart Snyder. Um, but then again, I mean, like I said in my Cartoon Network versus Adult Swim video, a lot of people like to put the blame on the president. Like I said, from all of the crap that happened from 2007 to 2014, a lot of people like to blame Stuart Snyder for all the crap that happened. But that's just because he's the figurehead. He's the president. He didn't do all that stuff. Maybe he did some of it. Nobody really knows how much of it he actually did, and a lot of people like to blame the president. But he was just one of very many executives at Cartoon Network and Turner. You know, who knows who did what? Um, you know, he definitely is at fault in some things. Like, you know, he did encourage live action programming, and you know, there was some things. And I'm not defending him, and I'm not saying he wasn't bad. But a lot of people like to put a lot of people, even if it's just completely unrelated, it's just like, oh, something bad happened to Cartoon Network. I instantly blame the president for doing this. It's just like, for all we know, maybe they had nothing to do with it. You know. Did I ever watch Megas XLR? Yeah, I did watch Megas XLR sometimes. That was a great show, great action show. It's too bad it didn't last that long. How can someone become the president of Cartoon Network? Probably just by working their way up the ranks through Turner Broadcasting, which is kind of what Stuart Snyder and Christina Miller did. Um, Betty Cohen, I'm pretty sure she was working at Turner Broadcasting, and she just, you know, she got put in charge by Ted Turner, or something like that. I could be wrong. Um, yeah. Did you ever used to think that Johnny Bravo was voiced by No, no. I knew that Elvis Presley died in the 1970s, and I knew that Johnny Bravo was voiced by Jeff Bennett, even though he did sound very Elvisy. I never thought Johnny Bravo was voiced by Elvis. Um, yeah, Cartoon Network definitely does need to work on their transparency, and they need to have better and more open communication with their consumers. Um, uh, Nick died in 2007, and Cheddar and Batman were the only good shows and good Cartoon Network shows in 2008 and 2009. I disagree. You know, I liked Star Wars: The Clone Wars. I thought that was a good series. Flapjack I thought was a good series. Secret Saturdays I thought was pretty decent. Ben 10 Alien Force was pretty decent. Um, you know, I think that there was more good, you know, good shows around that time. This is my opinion. Um, and yeah, you know, I'm pretty sure I said in back in that, you know, when Cartoon Network died video back in 2013 with Future Gohan SSJ2, I'm pretty sure I said, you know, that I thought Cartoon Network died in 2007. But I kind of disagree with that now. I feel like it started going downhill around that time, but I don't think it, you know, actually quote unquote died until, you know, like 2009. What are your thoughts on same-sex couples on kids shows? Um, I mean, I personally don't really care about it. it's interesting because I mean, at a very young age, kids have always been taught that like a man's supposed to love a woman and a woman's supposed to love a man. But I mean, I guess it is kind of good just in the sense that same sex marriage is obviously legalized, so kids are going to see gay couples and lesbian couples and so on and so forth in the real world, and they are a part of our real world, even though that they're a minority group. So I mean, maybe it is a good thing. I really don't. I honestly don't care about it that much, but that's just me. I don't watch MTV. It's like like Teen Wolf and Teen Mom, and I don't know. I don't and what's it called? The Challenge and Real World. I don't find their reality programming entertaining. Then again, I used to find a lot of their other reality programming entertaining. Like I used to watch Jackass uh and what's the one? There was a certain show. I think it was called Viva La Bam. It was a reality series with Bam Margera, and that was a funny show. Um, I used to watch TLR. That was a great music show. Any ideas how Cartoon Network could interact with its fans? Easy. They could take some reference from the past. First and foremost, social media is a big tool. Um, Maybe they should respond and reply to comments and things that they're given. Criticism and comments. That's what Adult Swim does. Even if it's completely outlandish and idiotic, they still respond to it. Um, Secondly, they have a contact us thing on their website, but from what most people have said, they most likely don't check it. Uh, Even they're called check it. No, but anyway, yeah, they should respond to people that way. If someone contacts Cartoon Network through their feedback thing, and they have some suggestions or they have something to say, maybe Cartoon Network should have someone go on there and respond to people. Um, Even though a lot of it's probably going to be repetitive and things like, oh, we want the old Cartoon Network back. Um, I mean, I guess that they can just ignore those ones, but ones that are actually reasonable. Um, and then like the old Cartoon Network, they had the certain shows, certain blocks, like they had Master Control, where you could vote online, and that way, uh, people could choose. It was a block where people could vote online and choose what episodes and what shows aired on that block. Like you never knew it was going to be on there because it's just people choose from a whole list of shows online, and you could vote uh, to have certain shows go up on that block. Then they had like JBVO, which was like a fake radio show type thing where it was like a block hosted by Johnny Bravo, and it was just or it was like a show too. But they basically just took in phone calls, and Johnny Bravo's voice actor would respond to them and talk to them. Um, and yeah, there's so many different ways Cartoon Network could interact with their audience. Um, let's see. These are so many questions. um, let's see. Should Cartoon Network have a teenage block? Bring back or make more serious content, or is Adult Swim already that? Yeah, in some ways, Adult Swim already is that. I just wish there was more shows that were less silly and specifically made for kids and Like I said, shows that are kind of made for everybody, a show the family can watch together, a show that maybe not only is silly, but maybe has some more depth to it, has some heart and emotion to it, and that's kind of what Steve Universe is. But we need more shows like that, but not exactly that same formula. Um, do you think Boomerang should have older Toonami shows in their schedule? Like, what do you mean, like Teen Titans, Megas XLR, that kind of stuff, or like the anime? Do you think Cartoon Network is going downhill simply because they have two shows you don't like? No. I made an entire video about it. It, you know, there's so much more to it. It's not just because I there's two shows I don't. I probably dislike more than two shows on Cartoon Network. I made an entire video talking about it from an objective standpoint. And like I said, it's not even a matter of bias. I can objectively prove that Cartoon Network isn't as good as it used to be. See you later, Savi. Um, Did I like Check It 1.0? I did not like Check It 1.0. What are my thoughts on the Adult Swim pilots? I like them. Some of them were good. Like I said, it's very experimental, like a lot of Adult Swim's regular stuff. Uh, I liked one of them. One of them was weird. It was called like the Hindenburg Explodes or something. It was just kind of like it took place. It was a live action one on a blimp. It was definitely interesting, very experimental. But yeah, I guess they were pretty cool. Opinions on the upcoming My Little Pony movie. I don't really pay attention to anything My Little Pony, so I don't really have an opinion on it. Have you heard of Butch Hartman's canceled pilot for Cartoon Network Dynamice? Yeah, I just talked about that like a half hour ago. um, which do I prefer, American Dad or Family Guy? American Dad. Yeah, good point. Tactical Oak Show. He says, as long as this. Oh, I just saw the background went black. Let me fix that quick. Okay. He says, as long as the story and characters are good and well written and implemented, I don't mind at all about same sex couples. What matters more is the story and characters. Yeah, I don't think shows should simply just include same sex couples for them being same sex couples. Like I guess they're almost kind of like an everyday part of life, and I don't mind them as they're not in there just because they're kind of like it's a publicity thing. Why am I getting dislikes? Probably because a lot of people don't like me. I do have my group of haters. Um, let's see. What's my opinion on the check it slogan? I don't know. It's like check it. It's very simple. It can be interpreted in many ways. It's not like Cartoon Network's other slogan, like uh, what was it, the home for cartoons, or what was it? It was something like that. Do I hate Captain Planet? I don't hate Captain Planet. Some of the episodes I like. Some of them were kind of cheesy and corny, and Hold on a sec. Okay, sorry about that. Um, Since the Adventure Time movie doesn't look like it's happening, what other shows on Cartoon Network do you think might get a theatrical movie? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Cartoon Network's only had one theatrical movie, Powerpuff Girls movie, and that had mixed reviews and didn't do that well at the box office. So I don't know if Cartoon Network's going to take that risk again. And knowing modern Cartoon Network, they don't like to take a lot of risks. Have you heard that Intruder 3 is coming out on Toonami? Yes, I have. You love my Cartoon Network versus Adult Swim video? Thank you. Do you think 90s kids are annoying? Some of them are. I mean, I'm a 90s kid, but I don't blatantly go off and say, I'm from the 90s. I'm so much better than you. Things in the 90s were so much better. Like those kinds of people are annoying, but do you like Over the Hedge? I don't really remember it. All right. If you guys have any more questions, tweet them at me. I'm gonna close up the stream here. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. And yeah, as always, I'm Monsters Review. Thanks for watching, and have a great weekend.